welcome to 10 Talks. Today's conversation is all about celebrating. We have two volleyball champions. They just won this last weekend and they won their championship, and we are here to capture the moment, capture the winning strategies, celebrate with them. And today's desired outcome is all about intentional training, and it's training to achieve your impossible. So the girls have achieved an impossible. We're going to talk about what worked, what didn't work, watch their film, observe, and most importantly, just give you an opportunity to get to know our two teammates and to be able to share their journey with them. So Brittany and Rye, welcome. Great to connect. I want to start with the power of your story. Before we start celebrating, just want our team to get to know you. So Rye, tell us a bit about the power of your story.
Hi, everyone. My name is Raymariely. I am from Puerto Rico. I've been doing pro volleyballs since after I graduated from college, and really happy, really happy to be here and be able to meet Carlette and work with her, as well as Brittany, such an amazing teammate.
And so tell us a little bit about your volleyball journey.
I started when I was 11. I've come with a family of sports. My mom used to play professional basketball. My dad is a professional basketball coach. So I decided that I want to be different and play volleyball. So I started playing volleyball when I was 11. I've been in the national team for I'll say 6 years already, but I was able to be in the junior national team. I was able to achieve a dream to go and play and graduate from the University of Arkansas. That playing the NCAA was one of my big dreams, and I was able to achieve that. And right after, I just went straight to play professional because I knew that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I went straight to play professional. I've been able to play in 5 different countries. I started in Spain. I lived twice in France. I was able to move with my husband to Greece a few years ago. So yeah, that's basically my story.
And where did you meet your husband?
We actually met through volleyball. After one of his pro games when he was playing in 2017, he was in a semifinal, and I met him after his game.
And so how do you two manage both of you being pro?
Oh, I love it. I feel like we understand each other so much. I'm able to come up to him to talk about volleyball, and he's been able to give me advice, to be in this journey with me, especially this past few months. Yeah, we love it. We enjoy it so much.
That is beautiful. And Brittany, tell us a bit about you and the power of your story.
Yeah, so I started volleyball when I was 12. I played a couple different sports before that, but once I touched volleyball, I just fell in love with it. And so I played in high school. I went to USC for college. I graduated in 2018, and then I went and played overseas as well. I played professional in Poland, and then I did Germany for 2 years, and then I did Turkey last year, and I'm going back to Turkey this fall for my 4th professional season. And then Puerto Rico as well. So my mom was born in Puerto Rico, and so I was able to change my federation from USA to Puerto Rico. So I play on our team our professional team as a local player. I don't count as a foreigner, and it's just been such a special experience for me. Last year was my first year that I played with this team and that I played in the league, and it's just been an incredible experience. I'm so happy I did it, and I love all the people that I've met along the way as well.
Well, let's just start with celebrating this championship that you won. Victory dance. Woo-hoo, let's see it. Yeah, so exciting. So I just want to start there, and then we'll unpack the journey of it. And so our topic for our season is intentional training, and really being intentional about what you invest, your time, your energy, your emotion. And so tell us how you won this championship based on intentional training. So Rye, let's start with you.
Ever since I started working with Carlette, I've been very intentional with everything that I've done, but I learned that from you, Carlette. So I want to say thank you. It's the first time that I've been very focused on it. It's been a great journey, and I've been loving it so far. I know I still have a lot to grow and a lot to do, but I've seen already the growth and improvement that I've had with intentional training. And since we started a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so. So yeah, it's been great.
Well, Brittany, you have been on the intentional training journey with us for, I think it's been a year now. Has it been a year and a half? So
Yeah.
what have you learned? We've got Rye as a rookie being on the intentional training journey, and you as somewhat of a pro being at it a year or so. Tell us about the journey and what you've learned.
Yeah, I started with Carlette about a year ago, and it has completely changed my life since then. It really, with intentional training, and every week our meetings, it's what are we going to be intentional about this week? What were we doing last week? We check in with ourselves and we kind of rate ourselves of how we did and how it's working for us. And for me as an athlete, I think one of the most important things, one of my goals was to take care of my body. And I was able to do that in Turkey with an amazing trainer, and then continue that and be really intentional about it here in Puerto Rico, and be able to play in every set of the season and not have pain in my body, even though we have a tough season with a lot of back-to-back matches, a lot of matches in a week. And also the mental training, the mental aspect. I worked with Carlette a lot on really calming down and staying focused on the next point in the game and in practice. And in my self-talk between every single point, I'm always saying what my next action is going to be. And like, if we're inside out, I'm going to say, I'm going to get this next kill. Or if we're in defense, I say, I'm going to get this next dig. I'm going to get this block. And that alone, I think, helped me get really out of my like thinking mind, thinking about what happened 3 points ago, or thinking about maybe we're going to win the championship in 2 games. Like, none of that matters, because I'm staying in the present moment and focusing on my next action. And I think that was the real key that helped me to perform at a consistent level for a whole, not only this whole season in Puerto Rico, but also a whole year, including in Turkey. And also doing visualization every single game before the game. That has helped me a ton to just get focused in. And recently I discovered with you, Carlette, that I need to also visualize like my team going to kind of battle against the other team, and kind of visualizing what that feels like, and helping that to bring me out of like myself and into a team aspect, into playing for the city, into playing for the coach and my teammates and my friends. And so there's been so many different layers that have really, I feel like, helped me grow as a player and as a person since we started our training a year ago. And I'm super grateful for you. Thank you so much, Carlette.
Oh, well, I'm grateful for both of you. I love the intention that you've brought to your life, personally, professionally, philanthropically. And this isn't easy. And that's what I really want to value and respect and celebrate, is that both of you have made decisions to be intentionally great and to be competitively great, and to train week after week to make sure that not only doing what you need to do from sleep and nutrition and personally taking care of yourself, to professionally meeting with me every week, showing up. And I think a lot of times when we talk about champions or going for that, achieving our impossible, we want it to be somewhat instant. And we want to be like, okay, well, just tell me how to do it. Give me the hack. And what I really value and want to unpack on our conversation is that journey and your doubts, your self-talk, the ritual and routine of sticking with it, and really just not how hard it is, but how you have to really make a commitment. And the bigger the commitment, the bigger the success. And that's what we're getting to really see. And so, Rye, with you being a rookie, we've been together about a month. And so we were in this championship together in terms of really, what was, as you compare your film and think about what you've learned, what made a difference for you? Because I know all the games came down to the wire, like, oh my goodness, we're just gonna have to talk about how intense all of it was. And so just take us through what you were feeling and what you've learned.
And I have to say, Rye got MVP of the championships.
So another huge victory.
She played an incredible series, and like, to see her growth from the beginning of the season until now, you absolutely killed it, Rye. Like, I was so happy to be on the court with you. Just seeing you play at your highest level consistently was amazing. Yeah.
God, you. I love you so much. You're one of the best I've ever had. Seriously, you brought so much calm into the court that it was so awesome just to play with you. But Carlette, answering your question, I think for me it was really important to control my emotions. I'm a very emotional person, and I was dealing with anxiety. I've been getting better, and I was getting better. But once I started working with you, you said something that completely like shift my mind, and it was like anxiety needs action, and it means that you were excited for it. And that turned anxiety that was for me something negative into something positive. And every time that I felt that I was like a little bit anxious or nervous, I was like, this because I am excited for what is about to happen. So that shift mentality, like literally completely switched my entire world and everything that I do now. So that was something that I really, really wanted to work on. And even on the day that we had our championship, when I had my meeting with you, you gave me the opportunity to just pour my feelings out into you and expressing everything that I was holding. And by being able to do that, I was able to take like a huge amount of pressure off my chest and going into the game with a calm mentality and having control over my body and my thoughts, but was very, very important for me because everyone was very, very excited. Everyone was thinking about celebration. And I was like, no, focus in this moment. This is the moment to just get ready for the game. Get yourself ready for the game. And then we will talk about celebration. But it was such a great journey that in such a small period of time, I've been able to grow mentally and to shift for what it was something negative for me and turn it into positive. And it's really been helping me to bring up my power and my confidence even more into the game and be able to share it with my teammates.
Well, Rai, that is such a gift. I want to give that to our team. So team, what Rai just described, just so that you too can have that, is that the new thinking around anxiety is so many times, and right now our world, we're really thinking about as soon as I get anxious, it's a negative. And the new thinking is you wouldn't be anxious about something if it didn't matter to you and if it wasn't really important to you. So what a gift to own our anxiety in a way that, wow, I'm feeling anxious because I care, because I'm excited, because this matters to me. And that puts you in power rather than the anxiety having all the power and it being all about like blocking it, stopping it. Oh my gosh, I've got all this anxiety. It's like, wow, I really care about this. This really matters to me. And so that's what we do so much in sports life coaching is we own our truth. And that's another thing that Rai and I worked on the morning of the game is that her truth was she was super anxious and she had a lot of emotions. And instead of not talking about it and acting as if she didn't have it, we went right into it. And that's part of truth. And it was just like, well, tell me what you're feeling right now. And giving her the space to just own her truth, be able to get it out of her means that it's not going to take more power. It's not going to grow. It's going to be out here and she can kind of determine what she wants with it, what she needs to do with it. And it's not something that takes away from us. Instead, you heard Rai is super emotional. We want her to be so emotional. We want everyone to be themselves when they're going for greatness and going for anything rather than trying to be somebody that you're not. So Brittany, we talked about leadership with you. That's something that we were working on in this championship. And so let's talk about it because I know you had some things you were trying and let's see what Rai thinks of it.
Yeah. So this season, I guess, just recently in the last half of the season, I would say, I was really trying to figure out my leadership style and where I could be the most benefit to the team and trying to figure myself out. And I was looking at Rai and I was looking at Angel as two amazing leaders that I have, that I'm close with, that I get to learn from. I get to go every day and see what they say in the huddles. I get to see what Angel says before the games, how they lead in practice, how they lead in the games, like what they're contributing to the team, and just really learn from them. And in the process, I think I was also trying to figure out like what feels best to me and my leadership style. And I think by the end of the series in the finals, like I realized that it was, like Rai said, that calming presence on the court. And Angel kept saying in the semis and kept saying in the finals, like, we don't care about emotions. We don't care about the noise that's happening outside the court. We just need to focus on playing volleyball and sticking together as a team. Staying calm, staying composed was our like number one word for the final series, composure. And I felt like that really described me, and I felt almost empowered to go into that zone, and that hoping that people around me would feed off of that energy, because I don't think I need to add another voice to the team, because there are enough people who like Rai who are doing great leadership already. And I feel like I added that calm aspect to the team. Maybe in a stressful situation, someone is looking to me and it can help the team in some way.
Rai, what did you notice about Brittany just owning and being true to herself, that she's not one that's going to be all hyping everybody up? She has a certain way that she needs to be her best player. And how did it really show up for the team?
Her being herself just gave her so much power and confidence during playoffs all season long. Like, she also grew from the very first game until our last game, but she really took the composure part and calmness and brought that energy into everyone, that whenever we went into the huddle, it was like almost a safe space, because she was literally hugging everyone into together, and I could feel it. So everything that she said was on point. But yes, she showed up with so much confidence, and I'm glad she did, because she didn't need to be anything outside of what she brought. What she brought to the team was 100% perfect for what she needed, and she was one of our big leaders as well. So by her showing her face, her calmness, composure in every single point, doesn't matter if we were up or down, really gave us the steadiness that we needed throughout all season long.
Well, as we talk about leadership, that's something that's so important. And Brittany, this was really important for you on your journey to say, okay, now I'm ready to start leading the team as well. We started with leadership being leading yourself, because we have to really understand what works for us and authentically who are we before we can lead others. And I think so many times the word leadership, everybody's talking about it. We all want to be leaders. So Brittany, take us through your learning process of leading yourself first and then learning authentically how you could lead the team.
Yeah, I think leading myself had to do a lot with the intentional training, leading myself on a good path, and knowing that I'm putting in all my effort into this team and into this sport, and really kind of leading by example in that way. I didn't want to like close down anymore, like shut down. I wanted to maintain a composure, even if I'm not playing well, that would still contribute as a leader to the team, because we can't have great games all the time. And I think if you're having a not great game, like your leadership really comes out in those moments. And your personality really comes out in those moments, and how you compose yourself. But I've tried in the past to be the talkative leader, and it just felt so out of body and like not like myself at all. You know, like talking in between every single point, like saying things that just didn't feel right, I guess. But one thing that you said, Carlette, was if you're going to say something, think to yourself beforehand, how is this going to help the team? And is this going to help the team? And if I think about what I'm going to say and it's a yes, then go ahead and say it. And if it's a no, maybe not, then keep it to yourself and wait for a good opportunity. And I think that helped me a lot in also recognizing what Rai is saying in the team huddles and before the game and things like that. And also Angel, his speeches and what he says in timeouts. Like, there was not a single point, I think, of the whole season where Angel called a timeout and I didn't like what he said. Like, it just consistently, every single time, it was always like, yes, he's motivating us. Yes, this is the right time for something tactical. Yes, this is the right time for something emotional. And I just feel like he did just an incredible job in that way.
Shout out to him. That's huge for that. And he's your coach, correct?
Yeah, he's our coach.
So just so the team to know, I mean, from a coach perspective, really knowing that timing of what your team needs, when to do it, rather than it being all about you and as a coach in terms of you thinking about it. Tell us more about that.
I completely agree. I just really felt like he was for us. He was never saying things because of his ego. He was never saying things, I don't know. He just was really in tune with what we needed at the moment and what each individual player needs to be motivated to play at their highest level. Like for me, he has to look at me and say, I need you to score more points on attack. You're doing great serving, you're doing great blocking, but I need you to score more points on attack. And in my head, I'm like, yep, okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to work on. And that's all I'm thinking in my head for the next game or set. And then for other people, he says things in a different way, or he just is really in tune with each individual player and the team chemistry as a whole. And I just respect him a lot for that. And I've learned so much from him. Rye, what do you think about Angel and his leadership?
He is amazing. He was my favorite player when he was still playing, just because the way he carried himself and the way he showed confidence into his game. He was very, very successful. But I think he brought that confidence with him into the coaching point. And whenever he shares his words and his belief, it's just like you can immediately get it from him, you know? When we were about to start the finals, he went and he said, I knew we were going to be here and we're going to do something epic. So I believe it. Now it's your time to believe it yourself, because I believe in you guys. And those words just stick with me throughout all finals. And every meeting that we had, he finished with the exact same words. I believe it. I knew we were going to be here. And we're doing a great job, but stay in the moment, stay composure, and now it's your time to believe it yourself. So the communication that he had with every player was literally what each one of us needed from him. All the individual conversations that he had with each one of us, exactly what we needed. And he knew what to say individually to each one of us in different moments. For me as a setter, he was also a setter. So we were talking a lot about technical things of like, make sure you're looking at the block, or don't think too much. He will say that to me. Don't think, just play. Don't think, be free, just play, be free. Let the game develop, be free, do your thing, So that gave me so much confidence in that point. Like, I respected him so much as a player, and now I respect him even more.
And how long has he been coaching?
3 years.
Okay, so we got ourselves a rookie coach, and he transitioned from player to coach, which is beautiful. So shout out to him. Hopefully maybe we can have him on one of our podcasts so that he can share just his perspective on it. And so, Rye, let's get back to your leadership style. What have you learned about being a leader, and what did you discover in this intense championship?
That you as a leader, you also need to compose yourself. And it's really important for you to share good energy in every moment, because if the players or if your team see you that you are anxious, or you're not focused, or your head is everywhere, or you're paying attention to every other things that in that moment doesn't really matter, like that could carry a team away. So for me, it was really important to stay focused in every point, to keep myself composed, and to me to try to show them that everything is okay. It doesn't matter what is happening right now. Everything is okay. And next point. It doesn't matter if we win the point. It doesn't matter if we lose the point. We have to be present and always thinking forward. So that forward focus was really good.
Love that winning strategy. Right. You're a setter. And a setter really has, helps to control the game in a huge way and really set everybody up for that success. What words of wisdom would you give other setters?
Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Don't overthink your decision. Own your decision. There's not a right or wrong answer. So it's really important for you to have your confidence, so your players can have confidence in you. So if I didn't trust myself, I knew my players or my team was not going to trust me, or I was not going to trust them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really important for me to be able to trust myself first, invest in me, in my energy, in order to pour it into the rest of the team, and work hard, work really hard. Nothing comes in hand. But it's hard, but it's possible. That's what I will say to other setters and players.
That's our theme, is how to train for your impossible. And so, Rai, what was your impossible? I know when we were talking that this was your first championship. And so you've had other ones that you've gone for, and you were really nervous about, can we really do this? And so what showed up for you inside achieving your impossible?
I think when you're at that moment, you you just don't think you go and get what you want. And in that last game, we just went, and we knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew, like, we're facing the 6-time champion. They're not going to give us anything. We have to go and fight and work and focus in one point at a time, just as we did in the other games. So in that moment, like when it turned out to be a little difficult at the end, a little bit intense at the end, we all looked at each other and we were just like, we are getting this right now. So I think it was that decision that you don't think about, oh, maybe we're gonna lose, or maybe this are gonna go to another set or another game. No, like we all made the decision. It was like, this is going right now. And it was like a team decision. Literally,
there was no doubt from anyone. There was no doubt.
Literally, we will look at into each other's eye and was like, yep, we're getting this right now. It doesn't matter. They're up. Don't worry. We're getting
Sometimes
this.
nothing was even said in the huddles after the points. We would just come together and we're like looking at each other, and everyone is in agreement. Like, yeah, we're winning this right now. Yep. This is it. Not a single doubt.
So yeah, at that moment, you don't think about what could happen. You just have to make the decision to go and get it. And I learned in that game specifically, I started anxious. Like, I felt my body literally when I was gonna set, and my hands were shaking. I was like, nope, this is your time, sister. Like, go get it right now. And after that shift of mentality, it was like, let's just enjoy the game. Let's just have fun, give all you got, and whatever happens, happen. Like, I gave my power of anxious away, and I was able to be present in that moment, and it was great.
Okay, Brittany, we want to hear, just take us through what you learned in that game and the winning strategies, like really unpack just the intensity and how you turned from not having it to it being possible.
Yeah, I think the whole series was like training an impossible feat. Like, I didn't know. I thought it would be a really difficult series, and I was like, it's a good matchup. Like, anything can happen. We could win. We have a good chance to win, or they could play really well and we could lose. I don't know. But then after the first game, I was like, we're winning this. Like, they don't want it. Like, they don't have the same team chemistry. They don't have the same like fight that we do. And you could see it. Like, it was just the people, I feel like the fans watching, and also for the people on the court playing, it was just like, we were pushing and going for every ball every time. Like, we never took a point off, and we did something in Puerto Rico volleyball that it is considered almost impossible. Like, knocking down a champion like that. Someone was saying we destroyed a dynasty of volleyball, which I thought was
goosebumps.
Huge.
That's amazing.
I know, which I thought was huge. And we did it in such an epic way, like Rai was saying. But in the last match, like, me personally, I probably played like one of my worst games of the whole season, but I was trying to stay positive. I was trying to be a good teammate, and I was super excited when my other teammates were getting kills and I was being used as a decoy because I could not put a ball away. But it's okay. You can't have a great match every time. And I still haven't I don't know exactly why, I did everything the same. I did everything. My mental talk was the same. I was not able to score, which is
But she
okay.
did a lot of great things.
Thank you.
She got the important defense. She got 2 important defense, great blocks, and important ace. So keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brittany,
Yeah,
I only watched a little bit of it just because that's all I could find online. And you were there, you were covering, you were playing your position. So I just got to say, in terms of how interesting our film is, because when we're used to being the star and used to being able to deliver, and if you have a human moment and it doesn't show up, you're still focused on contributing, and you were a huge contributor. So take us through just what you learned in that.
Yeah, I think that was a huge turning point for me in recognizing my growth, because I feel like in the beginning of the season or last season, I would have, if I'm not playing well and not scoring, I just get so in my head, I almost shut down, and I become not a great teammate, and I become unable to do other aspects of the game like serving and defense, because I'm so down on myself. But I feel like with the support of my teammates around me, and then also the progress I've done to be mentally strong and to work and want and to be a good teammate, I was able to stay focused and still bought in and still with the team through our fight, instead of retreating into myself. And I think that was a huge growth moment for me, that I've seen.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm
I just want to celebrate that, because that is a huge one. Yeah, I mean, if we go into ourselves and give up and get focused on me versus the power of team, then really you take yourself out of the game, and the team needs you so much. So tell us about the self-talk that really was your winning strategy in a time when, what you're used to doing wasn't showing up really well for you.
Yeah, I was trying to not get into negative self-talk. I was sticking with what we have done for the past year of focusing on the next point, still in serve receive. I'm saying, I'm going to get this next kill. I'm going to get this next block. And I think even if the attacking wasn't working for me, maybe I told myself 50 times I'm going to get this next kill, and it only happened 5 times. But maybe I said, I'm going to get this serve, and it happened almost every time, or I'm going to get this block and it happened 3 times, So I think being able to use that tool to continue to focus and contribute in other aspects of the game, even if my attacking for one night is not going well, I think that still can help the team in a huge way. And that it was a contributor to the final series as well.
So intentional training is doing all the work. You've been at it a year. And so that's what I think is so important for people to understand, is that intentional training is showing up every day, doing exactly the ritual and routine that we've discovered as a winning strategy. And part of intentional training is discovering the winning strategies, figuring out, what is going to work, what doesn't work. And so we have to be on this journey to really be able to be in the game, to be having pressure, to be, really just about the hard part, and to be inside the training day in and day out and analyzing it. What's working, what's not working. We weren't changing it constantly. It wasn't like, okay, this game I didn't play well, we're going to change everything. We literally are just looking at, okay, what didn't work? What do we want to tweak? How do we want to make it a little better? Are you doing it at the same intensity? Really having you be accountable to the training and to you owning what is it that you're doing that's working or not working, and what do you want to do to get a different result. So I really want to celebrate your commitment to the training and you being able to do it, and just make sure that it showed up when you needed it. I mean, that's what's great about training. We don't know when we're going to need it, and it just shows up. So huge victory dance for you on that one. Yeah, celebrate, I tell you. So important, not just celebrating the win, right? Celebrating all of these components.
Celebrating the growth, I think, is most important.
Celebrating the growth, team. I wanted you to hear that. Celebrating that you've been intentional about working on something and it's working and you're doing great, so that you can have that just that celebration for yourself. That means I matter. It's important to me, my commitment. Let's talk about the power of team, because being a great teammate is so, so valuable. And each one of you have done extra work to be your best self so that you can show up and be a great teammate. So, Rai, what have you learned about the power of team?
I feel like for me, the team is so important, and that no individual is bigger than the team, and that what every person can contribute into the team is going to make a difference, like either good or bad, but it's
they are making an impact. We all make an impact. It's either for the team or not. So very important.
Yes. So something that I learned, and we talked, I think it was my first call, about the energy, like protect your energy, and the energy that you have is the one that you're going to share into the others. And I think we were really good at protecting the team's energy, and everyone understanding and respecting the goal and the role that each one of us had. And I think at the end that paid off, because every single person that understood their role, respected their role, they came in and they made an impact in every single game. And I get goosebumps from that. But I think the power of the team, like if you want to achieve something, go with a team, because you will achieve it, and you will go even farther than you think. And that's what, with the experience that we just had, that's what we did. But yes, like what you pour to yourself, like make sure you take care of yourself first. And that's what we're doing with you. We're being able to take care of ourselves first. And then whatever we learn, we can share it with our team. And yeah, that was a big part of it.
Love it. And so, Brittany, when you think about the power of team and teammanship, really out teaming people, that's the power of team, is really coming together and being so much better than you could possibly be on your own. What have you learned?
Yeah, I learned a lot about teammanship listening to Karsh Karai's podcast with you, and he talked about the USA women's Olympic team and how they won gold, and he said they really out-teamed the other teams, and that hit me as something that we're doing in Corozal. And I think the result of that was a championship this year, and the culture that Angel was building the past 3 years. Really, we saw it take shape this season with every individual bought in and every player with a role on the team and every player trusting each other. I think that was a huge aspect, and trusting the coach, trusting the staff, trusting that everyone was on the same page and working towards a similar goal together. And I think that was really what helped us like out team the other teams into a championship.
So part of being on a team is surrendering yourself, really giving up the me component and focused on that very, very intentional why, knowing your why, knowing why you're doing extra, knowing why you're choosing to get rest rather than party, knowing why you're doing different things. Every choice is for your team and for the team mission and the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing versus what you want yourself. And that's really a big part about being such a great teammate, an intentional teammate, is that you are focused more on what your team needs than what you personally need at the moment, from just a desire perspective, like that desire to do something that maybe isn't as great for the team. And so, Rai, what have you learned as some winning strategies for self-care for yourself to set yourself up to be a 10 teammate?
Oh, I love self-care. I love it so much, but the affirmations were amazing that's all I can think of, the affirmations. Just talking to myself in a way that I will treat my teammate. I'm treating my teammate the right way, with respect, with love, with grace. And me doing that to myself, like taking care of myself with the affirmations, was a huge part of it. And it also gave me an open mind to understand more about my teammates and where they were coming from with probably their situations, or, because a lot of people here, they work and they also do volleyball. So most of the time you see 5 or 6 players coming into the gym completely drained from the day. And that's when we were able to step in and maybe bring a smile on their face, you know, or understanding one of our players, which she was the oldest one. She comes from Cuba. She has a long story behind of who she is, or how she reacts, or how she, you know, impacts the team. But we were able to handle every situation with so much grace and with so much love that gave the team an opportunity for them to just give their all. Like, it doesn't matter if their day was good or bad, they came to the gym and they were having a good time. And something that I wanted to share is, like, this is the first time that in a team we did so many activities together. Like, we're always trying to be together doing something, either going to eat, go to Dave and Buster's, go to the beach multiple times together, every time, go to the beach together. If we were gonna party, we go party together, you know. Like, that was something that I did not experience before. Being able to have that experience with the team, that we just enjoy each other so much. And we obviously had our difficult times, but we were able to solve them as grown-ups and professionals, and always understanding that the team goes first. So yeah, that was
So Brittany, what did you do for your self-care to set yourself up to be a 10 teammate?
Yeah, I think, as Rye was saying, a lot of the girls are working like 9 to 5 jobs, and then we have practice at 7, and like that, you see them come in like drained, but they're still coming in and they're working hard for the team. And as someone whose only job is to be an athlete and to play this sport and be on this team, like, I wanted to come to practice and show up and give 100%, because I know that they're giving as much of their 100% as they can, you know. And to see them, they go to the gym in the morning, they go to work, and then they have a kid and they come with the kid to the practice, and to see that type of effort for our team was really inspiring. And I felt like it was in my power to do as much as I could to rest during the day, or to eat well and to recover and to be strong, to go to the gym, to really give as much as I can to this team, and also to be emotionally stable, to bring a good energy to the team. I think that everyone did a great job of that this season, and really gave their best effort as well.
So one of our tools is 10 moments. And so team listening, 10 moments is really why we have what's called 10 talks. Is everything we do is on a stat system. It's a stat system on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is low, 10 is fabulous. And we're really training our brain to capture the moments that matter to us. And that's a 10 moment. So a 10 moment isn't a perfect moment. A 10 moment is a moment that matters. It's something that's important to us. Everybody's 10s are different, because we're all different people and things matter to us in a different way. So our language is very much about capturing those 10 moments, so that in our brain, we're really training our brain to look for the good moments, the good things, and honoring and celebrating them, rather than, as high achievers, we can be really hard on ourselves, and high performers are constantly looking at what's not working. We're going to do that. We're going to learn from it. And more importantly, we're going to capture our 10 moments. So I want the two of you to watch your film from this season, from the championship, and let's just talk 10 moments. So Rye, what's your first 10 moment you want to share?
Can we share multiple 10 moments?
I want to hear lots of them.
I love 10 moments. This is my favorite part. But okay. The first 10 moment I want to talk about, it's when we were down 24-19 in the second game, third set. That was going to be a huge turning point for the series. So we're down 24-19, 24-20. I think
2019.
24-19. So that is a huge 10 moment. And because the way the team show itself in that difficult situation, everyone in the gym, even the people that were talking in in the game, they're like, oh yeah, this game is past, like this set is past history. Let's get ready for another set. But once we started to get the first point, the second point, the third point, we didn't even celebrate. We just immediately after the point, we all went to the middle, to the hurdle, just to hug each other out, just to look at each other's eyes and be like, we got this. This is happening right now. We got this. And then I get goosebumps just saying that. Because something like in that moment that everyone saw that it was impossible, 24-19, and you have a huge comeback, not to only win the set, but to also win the game and be up 2-0 in the finals against a huge team. That is a 10 moment, and I'm gonna call it the comeback set.
Love that comeback set. Love it, love it. Okay, we're gonna do lots of 10 moments. So think of your next one. Brittany, what was your 10 moment?
I think my first one of the season was the first time that we beat Caguas at their home. It was maybe, I don't know, a quarter of the way through the season, but we just saw a lot of the players working super hard and peak performing. And that was a time where I felt we were in rhythm as a team, and they were again kind of unbeatable for the season, and for us to go out and beat them in a kind of epic way was really, really fun. And it was a good preview for what could have happened at the end of the season and what did end up happening at the end of the season.
I love it. What do you want to name your 10 moment?
Hope.
Hope. I love it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Very fun. So team, as you're listening, notice that we name our 10 moments because it really captures in our brain somewhat of a file that we're creating. So now when Brittany says hope, she's going to have this piece of film of these 10 moments that show up for her. So what we do in this exercise is figure out, kind of watch our film, see what was a 10, tell the story. It's so important that we get to hear the whole story. All the details are so, so important. We want to feel like we're getting a 10 moment just listening to it and then being able to name it. So Rye, another 10 moment.
Another 10 moment for me was having Alake. Alake is one of the kids of our players in every single practice. And it was great because in the beginning, he's turning 2 or he's 2. His birthday is coming soon, but he's a baby. And in the beginning of the season, he could barely talk. He was just like showing emotion, screaming, happiness, laughing. But then by the end of the season, he could recognize each one of us. He will go to each one of us and give us a hug or start playing around. And literally every time we saw him, our gym will light up of love and excitement just to have him there. She will put him on the floor and we will be warming up and he will be running everywhere. I think that is another 10 moment for me.
I love it. Yeah. What do you want to name it?
Alake.
Okay, Brittany, another 10 moment.
Another 10 moment. Definitely winning the semis was a 10 moment.
Tell us all about it.
We just fought really hard as a team. We played against another great team, and we had all of our players finally healthy and playing together. We were getting our rhythm and really battling, and we lost the, I think, second match or third match of that series. So it made it a little more interesting. But after winning that series, it was like a huge celebration for us, but also, the job is not finished. We have something even greater that we're going for. But for us, it was still a 10 moment because at the beginning of the season, Angel was saying, like, this season, our goal was to make it to the semis. And then to win the semis and make it to the finals felt like a huge sense of accomplishment for the team.
I love it. What do you want to name it?
I don't know, kind of like hard work. It felt like a lot of hard work was put into that. Yeah.
Perfect. So, Rye, do you have a 10 moment from the championship?
Yes.
Tell us.
A lot of 10 moments from the championship.
Tell us all of them. Tell us that championship run.
But there's a video that I am watching over and over and over and over again. And it's like when we make it to the plaza, that everyone is there and there's the band singing and everyone is dancing and celebrating. Just the moment that we walk in, that everyone just started screaming, and I was able to see my family there. I got like an electric excitement inside of me that I just went so tense, screaming like that moment. And that was my uncle was able to get that on a video, so I keep repeating that moment because it was like I saw every one of my teammates just screaming of happiness with a sense of accomplishment. Everyone that we were able to unite a whole city that for a long time they didn't have, this experience. We were able to be in a championship in front of them in our gym, completely full and more, So that moment when I just looked at everything and I just screamed of excitement, and I saw my teammates doing the same, I was like, it's so worth it.
True.
This is so worth it. We did it. So yes, I will call that moment worth it.
Worth it. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, Brittany, your 10 moment from the championship.
My 10 moment, I think, is the celebration after the last match point. Like everyone storming the court, getting to hug my teammates, crying, hugging Angel. There's a picture of me and Rai hugging. There's a picture of Rai like on the ground praying and crying, just like we were celebrating so much for all the effort and the hard work and the dedication and the trust that we put into each other. And to feel that in our home gym with that atmosphere, I've never seen anything like that or been a part of anything that crazy with the fans and the way that it happened with the sweep. It was such an incredible and special moment. And for that moment and then the next 2 hours, 3 hours afterwards, just being able to celebrate with the team, like Rai said, with a sense of accomplishment was really special.
Oh, that's amazing. What do you want to name it?
Winning. That's what it feels like. Winning a championship.
That is what winning a championship feels like. Oh my goodness. So I want to make sure that our three-dimensional model, personal, professional, and philanthropic, is that we give hope. So as our philanthropic, we're champion givers. Brittany, what hope would you like to give to somebody who's, a college athlete, a high school athlete, anyone that's going for a championship? How do you want to give hope?
I would say don't underestimate the power of team, like what this podcast is about. You can lean on your teammates. It's really important to do the intentional work yourself, and then to also give that and pour that into your teammates and the power of team, because you'll all be stronger as a team.
Brittany, yes. From a vulnerability perspective on that, I can feel as people are listening to this thinking, okay, power of team, yes, but I want to go deeper than that, because it's about being vulnerable and it's about you really trusting yourself and the process. Right. Let's talk about you giving hope. How do you want to give hope? Who do you want to give hope to?
I want to give hope to the younger players that will be able to watch this in the future, or professional players, still professional players. Because sometimes you spend so many years working and working and working, and you might think like, oh, I never won a championship, I'm not successful. No, like you are successful in every part of your life and what you're doing right now. Just by showing up makes you successful enough for you to keep growing. So I want to give hope to those young players that the hard work is hard. It's very, very hard, but give yourself fully into the experience, and it doesn't matter what's the result, you will always be successful, because you will always learn something from it, and that will help you to gain experience and prepare you for the next experience. I feel like God timing for us winning a championship this time was the perfect timing, because we were all prepared for what he had for us, and it was amazing. So yes, yourself completely to the experience.
It's beautiful. Thank you both for sharing this incredible 10 and just being able to be on the journey with you. And team, it's up to you. Go out and train to achieve your impossible. Whatever it is, it matters. Be intentional with your life, your choices, and who you're hanging out with so that you can celebrate and have a great time with that power of team. Thank you, Brittany and Rye. Greatly appreciate you and very excited for you.
Thank you, Carlette.
Carlette. Thanks so much.